Welcome to Table Talk Friday, your weekly dose of D&D banter between three men in a bedroom. If you like their style, come back every Friday for another upload. Now, back to the boys.
Weeks ago, you and I had a conversation, and I don't know if it was on the podcast or if it was after or before or something, but I was talking about all of those little emulation handhelds, right? Ones that'll like play a bunch of stuff. And I showed you a link for one that was like a DS, right? It had two screens and it's super powerful and it can like do all the cool stuff, play DS games, GameCube, PlayStation 2, all the way up to Switch, like modern day Switch games. It can play if you emulate them right. And
Okay.
I have talked to you, I've talked to Chase, I've talked to a bunch of people because I'm like, I don't really have like a use case for a device like this because I'm like, I got a Steam Deck, I got a nice PC, I have a Switch and a Switch 2. Where does this little cute little portable thing, this little DS size thing, play into my life, even though it's super powerful and tiny? I want it to play into my life so badly because I want it so badly. You know what I mean?
Well, the key issue with this is when we were kids, and I had my little Game Boy, and I loved it so much. You played it while you were getting transported by your parents.
Right, you're in the car.
Yeah, you're in the car. You're getting driven to the grocery store. Maybe you're sitting in like the shopping cart or something while they're grabbing something. I don't know. Maybe you're just kind of, you're just doing whatever you want to do.
I'm not putting my Switch or my Steam Deck in my pocket and getting in the car. You know, I'm pulling that out in a hotel room. Maybe I'm pulling that out at the in-laws' house, but I'm not like, even when I'm in the car and I have it in my bag and we're like taking a 3-hour car ride somewhere to like the in-laws or something, I'm not commonly pulling out anything unless I'm just playing Slay the Spire on my Steam Deck with like a lot of shade around me because it's so big. It's like I'm pulling out an Xbox 360 in the car. You know what I mean? So you're right. I didn't think I had a use case for this thing, but then I was like, you know what? I have already, I recently had to pay a medical bill that was like $500 or something like that. And I paid it and forgot about it. So my bank account was at a certain amount already. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to be getting that refund money from my medical claim soon. So I'm going to have an extra $500.
Oh, how dare you?
I'm doing girl math. I'm doing girl math.
Oh, okay, girl math.
I'm going to have an extra $500 in my pocket. So I allotted myself free money to spend, to which I did. It's a net neutral. It's a net neutral, Drew. And so I'm not going to be losing or gaining. It's going to be a net neutral. I did order this thing. And I have spent days at this point curating my ROM library, sorting game. This is day 3 of what has been the entire week for me, curating ROMs, putting them in the right folders. So that way when this thing comes in, I plug my little SD card into it and everything's there. I just have to fix settings.
But when are you going to play it? We went through this whole issue of you don't know where it fits.
So I do know where it fits. And it's exactly what you said. I don't like driving. I don't commonly drive, and I don't take things other than my phone with me in the car when I'm going places. And I always open up freaking Reddit on my phone, and I'm reading it for like 30 minutes because any time you want to go somewhere in San Antonio, it's like 20 to 30 minutes. So that's use case number 1, right? Is in the car, short bursts for me to jump, because I've been playing like my 3DS. I recently played all the Ace Attorney, or the first 3 Ace Attorney games on my 3DS, and that was super fun and it was super cool. But it was like, I want that use case, but I want my Steam games on there. You know what I mean? And so this little Android handheld, I can put my lightweight Steam games on it. And I can put my lightweight Switch games, like the ones that aren't like super heavy, like Zelda Breath of the Wild and stuff. But like Hades 2, that will run on here just fine. Things like that will run to where I'm like, oh, my games that I'm playing every day that I'm normally playing on my Steam Deck that's this wide will run on this little thing instead.
That's pretty cool.
So that's use case number 1. Use case number 2 is my wife and I, we travel a good bit. We do. We travel a good bit compared to other people. We're often going to Houston for weekends to visit my in-laws. We're flying across the country a couple of times for trips. I have 2 weeks worth of travel happening 2 months from now. And I was like, last time we went on a week-long trip, I had my Steam Deck, my Switch 2, and my 3DS with me.
Why?
Because I was playing, I normally have like a rotation of like 3 or 4 games I'm playing, and I had one on each system and No Man's Sky. And so, and I played, it's not like I had one with me that I didn't touch the whole time. I played all of my systems while I was on this trip.
You really played every one of those systems?
I did. On my Switch 2, I played Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, which is a remaster of Sonic Generations from like the Xbox 360 and stuff, but they added a story for Shadow. And so I played that. I played Octopath Traveler 0, which is chef's kiss, very fun story style game. That was on my Steam Deck. On my 3DS, I worked through an Ace Attorney episode while I was doing that, and then I kept jumping into No Man's Sky on my Steam Deck. And I used my phone for Pokemon Champions. Like I was rotating between these 4. This was like a week-long trip, okay? So I was doing this like throughout a whole week's worth of time. But I was playing 4 or 5 games throughout this week. So I brought them all and used them all. This one thing is going to cut 4 of those systems away. Or I can put Pokemon Champions on it. I can put my lightweight Steam games, because I wasn't playing anything heavy on my Steam Deck that would have required me to have a computer with me. It was just some light games, like my roguelikes and stuff. Let's see, anything Android based. So I already said Pokemon Champions. And then emulation is going to be on there. The only thing that's different is if I'm actively playing a Switch 2 game, like I'm going to be playing probably the new Fire Emblem game when I come to North Carolina later this year. I'm going to have to bring a Switch 2 if I'm going to be playing that. So I may have 2 things with me, but I might not have to depending on what I'm playing at the time. But it does cut out stuff for me having to take it traveling, and I can put this thing in my pocket. I can put it in my pocket. It doesn't have to be in a case in a bag.
So you say you play all these games, right? Yeah. When I travel, which is not often, but when I travel, there's always stuff going on. Like there's not a whole lot of time that I have to sit down and like play this game. Are you doing like a lot of like intermittent traveling? Like it's just a lot of being in the car, a lot of like in airplane. Like what is this downtime?
I mean, this last time we went to Missouri, it was 13 hours worth of driving there, 13 hours back.
That'll do it. Okay.
So
that was
other than that, we spent some time in the Airbnb because we were there only to visit one of my brother-in-law. We were only there to visit him, and he was only available at specific times because Army. And so the other times than that, we're chilling in the Airbnb. I'm laying in bed playing my Steam Deck, you know? So yeah, that's what that is. This isn't like a Japan trip where I'm busy constantly. This is like, we're going places to visit people, but it's like we're being at home somewhere else. And when we come for the stuff in October, it's going to be similar. I'm going to be there Monday to Sunday, and I'm going to be sitting around a good bit. And plane rides.
I see it. I'm going to challenge you though.
Sure.
For always. Why play 5 different games in your trip when you can play one game your whole trip and be really good at it?
What would you recommend? Like, what are you thinking I should be good at?
Any of those games, you can become a master at it.
I mean, Pokemon Champions is the one I'm like focusing on, but I like stories. I like story games, and when you finish story game, there's no story left, so you have to go to the next one.
That's right. Well, you were talking about playing Hades. Hades isn't a stories game.
Yeah, it is. You know how much dialogue is in that thing? I'm like learning and learning and learning.
But it's more of a roguelike kind of situation.
Yes, it's a replay.
So, is there a story? Yes. I'm not saying it's not a story game, but it's a little more straightforward. You can kind of vibe, you can kind of sit back, play your game. Versus these I would say hardcore story games. It's all about the cinematics. It's all about the dialogue. I don't know. I also find it would be difficult for me to invest myself in a story game on the move. Like I kind of want to sit back at my couch and really immerse myself. I always think Red Dead when I think of stories. I loved Red Dead, but I couldn't play Red Dead on the go. I would have been too distracted. It would have been squirrel moments. I couldn't keep up with what's going on.
Funny you mentioned Red Dead. I can get that working on this thing. I've seen people do it.
That's absolutely.
Could you imagine playing Red Dead on your DS?
Like it looks good.
Yeah, I mean it looks good in the way that like it can on a 6-inch screen. Like this isn't 4K. It's not going to be blasting 4K. It's going to be like 720p on a 6-inch screen.
Good, though.
But 720p on a screen this big is like 4K.
Nuts, man. That is nuts.
I mean, you know, there's a Android version of Red Dead, right? It's $10 and you can buy it for your phone.
There's really, you could get it on your phone?
There's an Android port of Red Dead Redemption 1. So you can pay $10 and you can play it on your phone.
How would you even play on your phone, though?
I mean, they
Like
have little controllers. I have like this little shit. See? I mean, little Bluetooth controller. You're gonna be playing retro games? I got this shit.
Just keep getting smaller.
I just showed him for the audience that can't see. I have two 8-bit Do controllers. This one was like each one was like $10-15, and yeah, this one's like a little tiny, probably like 1-2 inch size controller you can use for retro games. The other one is like 4 inches and it has analog sticks.
I would lose my shit. I moved to like a slightly off-brand Xbox controller, and I could like, it's completely off. My entire year's worth of gaming has thrown me off, and I'm no longer good at that game.
Dude, I'm a controller collector. Every time I see a fancy new controller, I'm like, how can I afford that one? But I don't buy all the $300 controllers. I see like, oh, that's a fun gimmicky one for, $25-30. Let me try that one out.
You say $300 controller?
Yeah. I mean, there's the Xbox, there's
controllers?
Xbox Elite controllers. Those are 200, I think, 200, 250.
Oh,
Yeah, they have like removable switches and stuff, so like you can change them to the kind you want, the different sizes, different kinds of buttons, clicky, stuff like that.
is that worth it?
If you're playing games all the time, a premium controller like that, I think would be worth it. Like, I mean, my Steam controller was $100. I love this thing.
I feel like this controller's breakable. I bought several controllers, but I always go.
I bet if you had one $200 controller, it wouldn't break.
That's probably true. That's probably true. Yeah, I'd love to get the Doom one, the one with like the
that would be
the same
sick.
exact Xbox controller, but it's got the whole Doom thing on. It's got the Praetor, the Praetor symbol on the front.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time curating like my Switch emulation stuff, allegedly from websites you shouldn't be downloading things from.
Don't do that.
That's
sketchy.
Well, no, I have all the proper ad blocks and virus scanning software up to make sure I'm not getting bad files.
It's still sketchy though.
It feels sketchy, but it's not. So there's allegedly a place online where a lot of people talk about this kinds of stuff, and they allegedly have a list of websites that it's safe to get things from if you have the proper ad blocks up. And the websites I've been going to are on that list.
Get in that business.
It's not a business. It's a place where you circumvent paying for things, allegedly. Now, granted, most of the things that I did allegedly find on these places, I actually have the games on my Switch. Most of them, allegedly. Yeah. Anyways, other than just this really cool emulation stuff, I actually thought of something D&D related for this because I wanted to see what I could possibly finagle on a really powerful little Android device. Okay. And I think, based on my limited knowledge, I could run a whole session through a DS and my cell phone.
No, you cannot.
I think I could do it. I think so. It's 2 different screens on an Android device. Google Drive opened on the bottom with my notes. Top screen, the Roll20 official app with all of the tokens and stuff pulled up. My phone, anything I need to look up in the moment, and Discord. I connect everything to my phone, and so I'm doing Discord DMing through here, and anything that I need to quickly Google. And on the little DS, I got the little Roll20 map pulled up. It's only 6 inches, so it's going to be hard for me to see. But I don't need to see that much because I'm a good DM, And then on the bottom is my notes with the things I need to read. Do I think that's optimal or good? No, I don't think so. Am I going to try it at least once? Absolutely.
Please, for the love of God, make this like the D&D text session we did in college, where it's a one-time thing. It's very specific. There was a good reason we did it, arguably a good reason we did it. But just try it once, then move past it. Don't ever do this again. I don't want to hear about you running sessions on these devices.
What if it wasn't running the session? It was me playing in a session. We interrupt this regularly scheduled broadcast to tell you about patreon.com/Table Talk Friday, where you can get post shows from the boys every single week. Sometimes they talk about their personal lives, sometimes they talk about gaming, and sometimes the conversation just continues where it left off. So go check out patreon.com/Table Talk Friday now.
I feel like it's slightly better as far as, having like resources available. But I also don't want to play D&D on these tiny little screens where I can't see my boys. I want to pull up my Discord and see all your faces nice and big.
Well, that's why I'd have you guys pulled up right here until I need to look something up, then I look it up, and then I put it back.
No, that's just pull it up on your computer. It just seems like so extra.
What if I'm on a trip? What if I'm what if I'm on a trip and I'm like, oh, I can play D&D this week, guys. I'll lock myself up in a room.
Yeah, well, you're already carrying 3 consoles to bring your laptop with you.
I don't have a laptop.
Well, you do sort of have a laptop, kind of.
The Steam Deck can go into desktop mode, and I can pull up Discord.
No, get a laptop. I refuse. If you have 3-4 other consoles, just get a laptop and have that.
I mean, I do have this laptop, but I don't think it would run well off of a charging block. Because it is so old and busted. This is the old Razer Blade Stealth I had for college for the audience that can't see. And the reason I have this thing is because I strictly wanted to figure out a way to restore it. I was like, I want this to work. Am I going to use it for much? No, I had Microsoft Word, or I had Google Docs pulled up on it last week for D&D. But I pulled it up and I got this baby working. It would not turn on, and it turns on and works now.
Every extra screen, especially in D&D, man, every extra screen counts. If I could have 5 screens, 100% I'd rock them. And use every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I do think every extra screen counts. I think there is a point where it's a little bit redundant. But this past week, I used to split the screen and have you guys all on one side and then have Roll20 on the other. I used to have it like split up weird. Now since I have this one, I now have you guys just right under my camera, and then I have Roll20 on a different screen and then notes on another one. So having a third one is nice. Do I feel it's necessary? No, I didn't do it for over a year of DMing. But before that, I didn't use it like basically at all. So yeah.
So way back when we were living together in a certain apartment complex, we had 2 TVs in the wall.
We did.
We had 2 of them, and to this day, I think back to that as the prime, like the golden age. And we will be moving in a couple months here. And when we do, I fully anticipate to do the same thing once again, but with much larger screens. So I was thinking about a better D&D setup since I've been having a couple guests over. Jace comes over once in a while, and then Patrick has been pretty consistently coming over to play D&D, which has been really nice.
And it's been good. It hasn't been a problem at all.
I don't think so. I think the audio's been pretty good. The setup, it's not perfect for me. I have Excel sheets that I use for casting, so I actually have to like quick swap tabs on the TV just to see what I'm going to do really fast. But we run like I bet
if you had a little device where you could pull that up, that would be pretty...
No, that wouldn't make any sense. That would make literally 0 sense, actually. What makes more sense is in our new place, getting a second 80-inch TV and having all of you guys on one and then the Roll20 on the other.
That's good.
And the reason I brought this up is, first of all, I'm really excited about getting this set up again for D&D. But 2, back in the day, did we use both screens for D&D? I don't remember. What did we do? Did we do for like D&D? One as like a...
No, all I did was I plugged my old laptop into the main TV, or maybe it was your laptop, but we would plug it into the TV with YouTube and stuff up, and that was it. And then I had a screen. Yeah, we had one, and then I used a screen myself, or I think I just had my books with me, and I just DM'd at the table as is off the one laptop.
Okay, that sounds right. I was sitting here trying to think back to what we had on the second screen, but I guess we didn't. I guess we just didn't use it, which was totally a waste. We should have used it for, if nothing else, like what we did with Storm Kings, where we had sort of a backdrop of Waterdeep or just something to kind of set the vibe. I really appreciated that. Kind of gets you immersed a little bit. But I'm excited to play with it a little bit. I'm gonna let you know how it goes, and maybe we can pop over a couple states, check it out.
Oh, I definitely will be. Dude, sadly, they didn't announce a Pokemon regional happening in Charlotte this year, or else I would be flying out to compete in regionals.
Dude, you said regionals. Like, there's a new regional Pokemon. Which one is it? I
That's
gotta get
crazy.
it.
That's crazy.
Got a Hundo Durant the other day, which is only in the Western
Wow.
Hemisphere.
Wow.
So
You know,
basically, win.
you know what I'm really excited about? I'm really
Is it D and D?
No, this is Pokemon related. Uh I want to play Pokemon Ranger on this device. I want to play,
No,
dude.
you can't. Oh
I
God.
loved Pokemon Ranger, and there's two Pokemon Ranger games, Shadows of Almia and Guardian Signs, that I have not played, and I'm gonna play them.
Wait, there's other Ranger
There's
games?
three. There was a trilogy. Yeah.
I only played the first one.
So yeah, that's the only one I played was Pokemon Ranger 1, and there's Shadows of Almia and Guardian Signs, and you better believe I saw that when I was downloading stuff, and I was like, well, I gotta play these. And I allegedly downloaded them.
So how do you play this game without a DS? Because you would need to like stylus it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they make styluses for smartphones. You just get one of those.
I would destroy my phone. I don't like. I
They're
literally,
different
if I
though.
went
They're
to
like
play Ranger
rubber tipped.
again,
They're not like the plastic one that digs into the glass. This is like a rubber tip thing you go into there. So it's way different. It's like actually soft on the screen, like the texture of your skin.
okay. Because if I had to go back and play Pokemon Ranger again, I would literally have to buy a second device just to play that one on, and then have everything else on my other one. Because I destroyed the crap out of that DS. I went through like 6 styluses playing that game.
Dude, I'm gonna go through a $500 device. I'm just gonna slam through it.
Pokemon Ranger is probably the reason I have back problems to this day. That's probably what it is. I'm just like putting like all my elbow grease into it.
There you go.
My God, dude.
And of course, this leads directly into the topic for the day. Welcome to Table Talk Friday, where we're going to talk about D&D crossovers, which has nothing to do with this. But today, actually, the day we're recording this is on a Thursday, where D&D had their Gen Con panel, where they did like a 2027 Visions keynote. And I have not gotten all the updates from that yet, so we won't have everything right now. The biggest thing, though, is they're going to be doing a World of Warcraft crossover for the Azeroth setting, as far as I understand. Now, Drew, I know you don't have a lot of experience in this, but what are your thoughts on Blizzard and like D&D crossing over here on a brand new like setting to do with World of Warcraft, as opposed to anything in universe? I'll let you know right off the top of my head. I actually find it pretty interesting and fun that it's World of Warcraft because it fits so well.
Yes. So when I think of these sort of crossovers or these settings kind of coming into play, I immediately think of Magic the Gathering, like we've talked about a million times before, where they end up bringing things like Avatar and Sonic the Hedgehog, and it just does not fit in the slightest with the setting. But bringing Warcraft in, and I am not a Warcraft guru here. I have not played Warcraft extensively. I saw like one of the movies. That's really about it. But I understand the gist. It's very fantasy vibe, right? It's a little more
Yeah.
war-ish, a little more political than maybe like a typical D&D game. But very similar, races, similar sorts of magic, things like that. Very typical fantasy. So I think it'll fit perfectly fine. I do wish I knew a little bit more about Warcraft, but I'm always excited to see more settings in D&D that fit appropriately. Whether or not I'm actually going to sit and dig through the whole setting, I don't know. I still have several books on my shelf that I've skimmed, I've dipped my toe into, like Ravnica, for example, right? Fits extremely well into the D&D universe,
Yes.
right? It's all Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff, similar gods, all that kind of thing. But, to actually sit there and read through the whole thing, I'm probably not going to do it. I'm going to do it a little more homebrew. I'm going to think of some of my own settings, that kind of vibe. But I'd like to see what they put in, whether it be, maybe some sort of subclass options. Maybe it's purely a setting or environment. That's fine too.
There's got to
great.
be
Love
some
the
story or
inspiration.
something to go with it, right? Like I need some sort
Yeah,
of
I'm
like
thinking
little,
something.
at least a couple session campaign thing, like they did with the first Eberron book from the
Yeah.
2014 one, because I really liked that little story that was in there. It would be really cool to see. I forget what the first one is, but or Alliance versus Horde. That's the whole idea of World of Warcraft. So you can make a character and choose either Alliance, quote unquote, good guys, right? Alliance, it's like your humans and elves and stuff, and then Horde, which is all like your monstrous races, and they're actually at war in world, and so you choose a side and you play your whole MMO experience as like Alliance or Horde, so, which is really cool.
If that's the whole premise, though, and I'm sure, obviously there's more complexity to it, but D&D is a little more open, right? So you can kind of be, at least in our games, maybe it's not everybody, but from my understanding of D&D at this point, my perception of it. You could pretty much play mostly what you want, and the party can kind of work. But what if some people wanted to be Alliance, some people wanted to be Horde? Would that work? Would that be problematic?
I feel like
You
that would be
know,
extremely
I don't know.
problematic. I feel like it
Because like,
would.
how would you work together? Like, how would you get anything done with your objectives? They would
I
completely
mean,
clash.
unless you're trying to unite the two, which I don't think is possible since the entire like decades long run of World of Warcraft, they have not been united as far. I don't know any of the World of Warcraft stories. Maybe they united for some things. They probably did if stories are happening and like, oh, Alliance and Horde has to come together for this thing and blah, 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 and we're back at fighting. But yeah, I'd like to know stuff like that because I really don't know a lot about the setting itself. I do think it's really cool though, just the whole idea of it. Now, what I am seeing, because I'm scrolling quickly through the keynote right now and what they announced, they did announce something around the legends of Drizzt. So Drizzt Do'Urden, he's the dark elf.
That elf dude,
Yeah,
the
the
drow
drow,
elf.
the drow. And so apparently there's going to be some stuff around him. There's going to be Dark Sun as a setting book. So
Oh.
I don't know that much about Dark Sun in general. And then Greyhawk. There will be a Greyhawk setting book coming out. So they're actually doing a lot when it comes to books for next year, it seems like, which this year seems very dry. So I guess that's a good thing that they're doing more.
Yeah, I really haven't heard. I know we talked about this a couple episodes, just a tad bit, where I don't think really we've seen very much at all this year, or at least anything interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still trying to just get back from the lack of sales on the new what do we call it, 5.5 D&D one D&D, whatever it may be. It didn't do so well, but I'm excited to hear that they have some interesting compatible books coming up that we can actually utilize,
Yes.
or at least pull some inspiration from. That's really, I think nowadays that's what I look for. I either look for those staple books like Tasha's Xanathar's, where it's just tons of spells and subclasses and a whole bunch of new stuff. Or you made a face. What you got?
I
Something
have
interesting?
seen a drop on here for something that you might be like, huh? To Star Wars crossover. Apparently,
That's
they're going to
fine.
be doing some Unearthed Arcana for Star Wars stuff to like test it out.
I mean, that's cool. It's to me, D&D is very customizable, right? And we have Spelljammer, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not my vibe.
Yeah.
Could I steal some stuff for it? Absolutely. Love me
Now,
some
I was going to
Panic Fire.
say, we can steal some stuff for Spelljammer, though, from there.
Yeah. So that to me is why I'm not immediately hating on it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of things you could say or about different franchises or groups or games or movies, whatever you wanted to pull in, that I would immediately just crap all over. But because we've done Spelljammer, and if we hadn't done Spelljammer, I think I would. But because we've done it, because I really enjoyed it, and it's not my prime D&D, right? But as a little side thing, a little side campaign, a little
Yeah.
mini one, some one-offs, love me some Spelljammer.
I mean, so Greyhawk, very excited about. That's the original setting from the writer. Dark Sun is apparently post-apocalyptic, so it's a big post-apocalyptic, brutal survival style world that they do D&D type stuff in. I would love to give that a once over, just and like learn all about it. And so if they have some official rules around it and like cool mechanics, or like really cool monsters, like any idea there, I'm happy to steal stuff from that book for the campaigns. Let's see. Star Wars is really cool, especially given we have someone playing a psionic fighter right now. Like adding that in, I do like these fun crossovers. You have no idea how excited I'd be if there was like a Legend of Zelda or freaking Pokemon style crossover, because I could get all in on that. We already talk about all the time how we wish we could play Pokemon 5e again. We just don't have the time in our adult lives to sit down and play a Pokemon 5e game. So that's a thing there. And then obviously, R.A. Salvatore, I have his books on the shelf behind me, the guy who wrote the Drizzt Do'Urden books. I've read 1/4 of one of those books because they're big, and then I'm deep reader. I read a lot of comics and manga.
Ooh,
okay. I read all. I finished the Invincible comics. Did I tell you about that?
I realized you were a poet, dude.
Yeah, I read a lot. So I've caught up on One Piece. Caught up on it.
No way. Did you really?
Yeah, I've been caught up.
Crazy long?
Yeah, it's over 1,100 chapters of manga, and I read all of them between me starting Chinese and finishing Chinese, and I've stayed caught up since.
That's ridiculous. How often does it come out? Like every week, every month?
It depends on whenever Oda, the writer, actually finishes a chapter. Sometimes it's a couple weeks, sometimes it's every other week. So, chapters drop every 2 to 3 weeks.
It must be so stressful having to crank out these new chapters every so often and then just keep it going. You don't get enough time to like sit and ponder about where your story's going, I feel like.
I mean, they're like 19 pages every time, so it's not like tons and tons every time. And Oda has been writing this for 2 decades now, so he knows what's going to happen in this story. Crazy thing is, there's about as many episodes in the anime as there is chapters, and those are 20-minute long animations, while these are 19-page chapters. They have they have elongated the anime so much because there's no like extra story. It's the same exact story, but they've elongated things to like made it take a lot longer and slowed pacing down so much that I'm like, I don't think I could watch the anime because of how slow it is compared to me reading the manga for 19 pages really quick.
Which is crazy to think that they would slow it down at all, considering they have infinite resource to write this show forever. So why even slow it down?
They slow it down because they want to put out episodes weekly for set periods of time. And so in order to keep them coming weekly, when a new chapter is not coming out next week, they have to make that one chapter last for 2 weeks for 40 minutes.
Oh my god. To me, that's so greedy though. Just you literally have thousands of hours of content. Just put it out. Put it out as is. What does it matter?
Yeah, it's whatever. But anyways, collaborations I am all in for. I think it would be fun. When it comes to Magic the Gathering, I'm not as hot on it, but since D&D hasn't had huge exposure and that's not everything we're getting for D&D, it's fun when a book comes out and it's like, hey, we're doing a crossover with Star Wars. We're doing a crossover with World of Warcraft. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool. I like that. I don't mind that because it's not something we see often. But I mean, yeah, as for the other setting books, I have pretty much every setting book behind me from 2014, and I probably won't pick up physical copies, but I might get PDFs because they're cheaper and stuff for the new ones just to check it out because it's just fun to read through and get ideas for the campaign. It's not anything I'm gonna like run session by session, but it is something that I'm happy to take inspiration from.
I do have a good scenario though. So being that Wizards has gone kind of dry with their what I would call their canon stuff, right? Their original sort of thing. We'll call it in-universe, right? If they have all these plans to do different franchises, whether it be Star Wars, Warcraft, whatever it may be coming in the future, is this the future of D&D? Like, are they not going to put out nearly as much of their own content?
Oh, of course.
Or
brand deals make a lot of money.
If that's the case, though, to me, D&D is almost going mainstream, like a lot of these other games that are just kind of about microtransactions and you know, like Fortnite, you think, right? You think it goes into every movie, every video game, every TV show that's ever come out, right? It's all about the franchising. DBD, I played DBD for years, right? It was all about getting the new killers, which I appreciated. That was sort of like the intent of the game, kind of different vibe, but it's all about the franchising, getting these other people to join. I don't know if I like the future of D&D, not that it's super bright right now, but I don't really like the future of D&D just sort of pulling in other stuff. Like, to me, I almost want to do that myself. Like, I want to find inspiration in Bob's Burgers, you know, that I watch on a nightly basis and then bring it into my game somehow, subtly or you know, intentionally, right? I don't know how I feel about it.
Let me ask you this. When has that not been the future of D&D? I mean, we've known this for a long time that it was going to go in this route. Am I excited about it? No. But have I been reading the latest books that come out anyways? No. Has it affected any of our games because we write all our stuff ourselves basically and we don't pay for any of the content anymore really? No. So I'm not upset about it. If Hasbro completely stopped and was only releasing, if Wizards of the Coast was only releasing like strictly partnered content, I'd probably still feel the same because I'd be like, wow, that's really sad to me that this era of like a decade of books that were coming out all the time and we were excited and talking about them a lot. It's sad to me that that's over. It's like bitter. It's not even bittersweet. It's just bitter that it's over. You know, it's like, dang, that what 2014 to 2024, that was an era of D&D, right? Where we were caught up in all of the news and stuff that was coming out. Nowadays, I just don't see that happening nearly as much. I mean, Magic the Gathering's done the same thing. There are tons of channels that still revolve around it. People are caught up in it. I've even heard content creators talking about the recent Marvel set and being like, wow, this Marvel set is so cool. I love it. But then I played at a table with a group on like every other week-ish basis. And when we sit down, they're all playing like franchise decks, and I even play Final Fantasy decks, right? But Final Fantasy kind of fits the mold. But
Yeah,
I'm at a table. I'm playing Final Fantasy. My wife is playing like a Bloomburrow deck. So very fantasy canon, fantasy adjacent. And then I'm sitting next to a guy who's playing a Spider-Man deck, and I'm sitting next to a guy who's playing a Nick Fury deck from Marvel. Like these are extremely common now, and it's fun to play against them. I'm sitting there just playing the game. I'm not really paying attention to, oh, I can't believe he's playing Nick Fury. I can't believe he just played the Fantastic Four card. I'm not really worried about that kind of stuff when I'm at the table, but like they're not things I'm interested in. Like you're not going to catch me making a Star Trek deck whenever the Star Trek set comes out.
No, it's fair. I feel like it brings a new element of like misunderstanding to D&D. Because right off the bat, we've talked about this a million times, where it's hard to explain D&D to someone until you play it, right?
Yeah.
So now that we've been playing for a super long time, trying to explain it to new players, it could be done a little more easily. But as the game adapts and becomes less, I'm going to say, fantasy centric, we may start with new players or have to explain to somebody that played D&D, like, oh yeah, you play like Darth Vader? Like, well, no. It's to me, it's almost like making the game more diluted or more confusing.
It's
Which
that
we don't need any more of that in D&D.
Yeah, it's that for sure. But also, it's the idea that people were already, and we've talked about it before because we've done it, people were already taking 5e rules and bending them to the setting of their choice. Being like, oh, we want to play Star Wars 5e, so or Fallout 5e, stuff like that. So, if they're doing that on an official capacity, it's only helpful to those people, I think. Yes, it takes away because we're not getting like a new not Tome of Heroes, a new Volo's Guide or something like that, right? We're not getting like all these new character classes for official D&D stuff. But I mean, let's be honest, you and I weren't reading those anyways. We're still using Tasha's. It's been years and years since Tasha's came out, and we're still finding new things to do with it. So, and we use Tome of Heroes, which is a fun third-party thing. And if we get stale from that eventually, which we've used like 4 subclasses from it out of the like 30-something or 40-something that's in there, so we're not even barely scratching the surface with it. But if that gets stale, you know what we're going to do? We're going to find another third-party book and buy it, send the PDF to all you guys and say, hey, you can use this too. And then all of a sudden, we have a whole nother thing that can be used. And we'll be like, is it balanced? Who cares? Because we're going to use it at the table, and then I'll just make my monster harder.
It's all going to work out. We have infinite content in D&D. I have a firm belief, understanding, and acceptance that we will never run out of content. I'll never play all the classes I want to. It's just impossible. There will be spells. If I play to this game to the day I die, there will be spells that I wanted to cast, including level 3 knock, that I'll never get to cast. But I appreciate the options, I guess, above all else. While I'm a little pessimistic about it, I'm not super happy. I appreciate that no matter what, there's always more options to do. So I guess it's cool. Not quite the way I'd like D&D to go in my ideal world, but it's okay. It's not my world, I guess.
I think
D&D's world.
Now, what I think we need to do, because half of this podcast is Pokemon now, I think what we need to do is we should stay. If someone subscribes to Patreon this week, right? If someone subscribes to Patreon this week, patreon.com/tabletalkfriday, I think we do a Pokemon 5e live play episode or 2 with 2 of you guys, you and someone else, right? We jump in.
I might go do it myself. Do I count?
If you sign up, you know what? If you sign up and pay the money into the pot that is Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast, then sure, absolutely, we'll do the live play if you want to do it that bad. I'll run it. I'm not going to run the same storyline, but I can do it. We're going to do it in an established region, though, not something that I'm writing off the top of my head. Established region that already exists, and I'll come up with a storyline based on it.
I would be so stoked. I think back to those days all the time, and we didn't play many sessions at all. But I literally think about it. Probably, what's the running joke with guys? It's the people think of Sparta like
Rome
once a day or something.
Yeah,
Rome,
yeah. Dudes think
it's not true.
You don't think of Rome once a day?
No, not once a day. No, absolutely not.
No, me neither.
But to me, it's very, very similar vibe. Where I'm thinking about these Pokemon games, these Pokemon 5e games, pretty frequently. Not on a daily basis, but pretty frequently.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. Remember, if you really want those live play episodes, you can find us over at patreon.com/Table Talk Friday. Hand us $5. If you hand us $5, you know, I can buy a cup of coffee and put it right next to my $500 machine I didn't need, but I wanted. But it's okay because I put in a medical insurance claim to get the extra money.
Free money.
It's free money that I spent already. But yeah, catch us over on patreon.com/Table Talk Friday, where you can get all that content, our exclusive post shows, which we're going to record right after this. And with that, I need for, what is it?
Just have your cat take us out. Your cat's right there.
She's been sleeping right here on the table this entire time, and she's just now deciding to move around. Let's see. What do they call it in Magic the Gathering whenever it's like third party type stuff? Oh gosh, I gotta find this. One second. I'm gonna find it.
It's gonna be a mana weaver, bro. Straight up mana weaver.
Dang. Oh.
Pokemon the other day, dude. It's crazy.
I need the man of Universes Beyond. They call it Universes Beyond in Magic the Gathering. So Mr. Universes Beyond to take us out.
Mr. Universes Beyond. It is I. And if you want to hang out with me anymore, you have to get all these expansion packs to get the DLC and play Star Wars. See you guys. Appreciate it.